Welcome to episode 300 of the Mastering Midlife podcast. If you're listening to this podcast and you're not either Zack or Jake Silverman, my sons, this podcast is not for you. This podcast is for Zack and Jake, my two adult sons. I love for you to listen. I am recording this to be public so that you get to know me a little. But the podcast, this conversation is definitely pointed at two young men on two different sides of the world right now. And this is extemporaneous. I did not plan this. This comes from a Twitter conversation that I had with an influencer named Ryan Stevens about fatherhood. And all morning, all I could think about is what fatherhood has done for me. So Zack and Jake, want to record this for you because it's what's in my heart. Being your dad is the single most impactful, most profound, most spiritual experience of my life on earth. It's hard to explain. And you know me, I've had a pretty colorful life, and my spiritual life is pretty exciting, actually, for me. And I've had some really profound, deep, amazing experiences with my oneness with all, with God, with, it's hard to even explain. But when I say that being your father is the most profound experience of my time that I can remember and that I can know, I mean that in so many ways. So in my books and in the podcast and in interviews, I wasn't really a viable going human concern when I was younger. I was homeless. I had no direction. I had no self-worth, self-esteem. Didn't really have many life skills except just surviving. So when I got sober, thanks to your Uncle Barry, in 1989 at 27 years old, that was the first steps to putting the building blocks together of being Mark J. Silverman, who would eventually be your dad. I met and married your mom, Robin, which was a brilliant decision on my part, because not only is she wonderful, but she helped me become the man I meant to be, the dad I meant to be. The funny thing about your mom and I is neither one of us were equipped to be parents. Neither one of us knew what we were doing. Neither one of us had the upbringing that we wanted to actually pass down to you. As much as we loved our parents and loved our families, we didn't want to pass down a lot of what we learned as far as parenting is concerned. So when I say your mom, thank God, who is maniacal about anything she takes under as an endeavor, threw herself into parenting and subsequently threw me into parenting, I am forever grateful, because I don't know how good of a dad I would have been had it not been for her dedication. But when both of you were born, Zack, when you were born first, that moment that you came into the world with your eyes sparkling and inquisitive and thinking already, everything changed. Everything changed. Didn't even know how to put you into the car seat to bring you home. But we figured it out. And life never was the same. And Jake, when you came along and made our family complete, the joy that you brought just made it all well-rounded. But as far as me being a man, what being a father brought me was a center point. It was a grounding that I never had before. And you'll experience it one day. Zack, I know you got a dog now, so that's part of it, but you'll experience it one day. That something happened when I became a father, when you guys came into the world. There was a groundedness and a gravity to me that didn't exist before. I had an earnestness. I wanted to be a good dad. I wanted to be a good husband. I wanted to be a provider. And George Strait and Jack Ryan from the Tom Clancy novels were my role models for being a man. But now, being a dad, I had to figure it out. And being a dad, being that center point, was really, for me, the start of who you know today. I was a sales guy, but I had no self-esteem and no self-worth, and I was scared of everything. And I used to say, I wish I could bring being a dad, the dad energy that I bring to my sons, to my sales career. And I remember later saying, I wish I could bring um, that surety that I have as a dad, because it's crazy. I have this surety as a dad with you guys. I am rarely in doubt when I'm being dad. I may have been wrong, but I'm really clear on my love and admiration for you guys. Both of you very different, both of you very unique, and came with different instructions. As your mom says, the instructions are written on your ass. Both of you had different instructions. But when I became a sales guy, and then when I became a coach, I used to tell my coach, Rich, I wish you could see me as a dad. I wish I could be with my clients. I wish I could be with people. I wish I could be on stage the same way I am as a dad. And eventually I was able to tap into that energy of being your father, to be a salesman, to be an adult in the world, to go toe to toe with the world, to be a coach, to lead other leaders, all because I'm your dad. But as you grew up and as you guys turned into individuals, I started to learn that I was raising two new people. If you remember, Zach, when you called me from Virginia Tech and said you wanted to buy a shotgun, that was an interesting conversation. And then I asked where Jake was, because he was grounded and supposed to be with you, and he wasn't where he was supposed to be. And I realized, and I turned to John and I said, I didn't have children. I raised two new people. When you had your own political views, when you had your own wants, desires, when you knew what you wanted, it took everything I had to step out of the way of what I wanted for you, what I thought was best for you, what I thought you needed to do, or how you needed to be, to let you be you. And that delicate balance of pushing, prodding, guiding, and letting you guys be was a dance your mom and I did our whole lives. Zach, in helping you become a well-rounded person with baseball and sports, and Jake finding Krav Maga and really throwing yourself into that. And now, as you have your careers, and as you are, Jake, you are halfway around the world, and Zach, you are in another part of the country. As you grow and have relationships and challenges, being your dad is still, I'm going to get choked up. Being your dad is still the most profound experience that I have. Seeing you, watching you, experiencing you, learning from you, dealing with myself and my fears and my wants and my desires and my judgments, so that I can just be there for you, is the greatest growth I could ever imagine. So whatever my spiritual condition, whatever I do in the world, whatever videos you see on Facebook and LinkedIn, and whatever books you see and whatever you see I do in the world, I want you to know it comes because being your dad turned a young man who really had no direction and no idea what it was to be an adult in the world. You helped turn me into a man who makes an impact on other people, who has an open heart and is loving and caring. And all of that means everything to me, because I have a legacy to leave you guys. So being your dad, again, is everything. This podcast, episode 300. I've had so many conversations with so many amazing people, and all of them are grounded in my identity as being your dad, which I will carry as an honor till the day I die, which I hope is a long way along. So as I want to see you guys grow, and I want to see grandchildren and all your beautiful wives and all that stuff. I love you guys. And thank you for indulging me, because I know the mushy stuff isn't your thing. And to everybody else who is listening, thank you for indulging me. Thank you for listening for so many episodes. Thank you for reading what I write and being along the journey with me. Now you know that anything I give to you is because of what my sons have given to me. I love all of you. Have a great rest of the day.